Here is how you can play Black Ops 7 early before the game officially launches. Black Ops 7 is supposed to launch on Friday, November 14th, but I'm going to show you with a few sneaky tricks how to play it earlier than that. I'm also going to be showing you guys how and when to preload the game. If you want to know how to play the game early, stay tuned. Be sure to drop a like if you found this useful, and feel free to check out my other Black Ops 7 guides. Before we continue with the video, if you're looking to unlock the mastery cameras in Black Ops 6 or the new ones in Black Ops 7, or grind them extremely fast in bot lobbies, be sure to check out Mitch Cactus, as these guys are the biggest and most reliable sellers, offering legitimate and safe services on all platforms. They now offer a new cheap COD point service where you can get up to an 80% discount. They already have over 10,000 reviews on Trustpilot, so for all things Call of Duty, visit mitchcactus.com and use code RAGER at checkout for 5% off. Without further ado, let's get straight into it. Okay, so if you guys are anything like me, you'll be looking forward to getting your hands on the game. Now, the first place in the world for the game to become available on Friday the 14th November is New Zealand, because it is the furthest to the right on a world map. And because of that, by the time it gets to the 14th of November in New Zealand, it will be a lot earlier than that in other countries to the left of it. So the US and UK and everywhere else in the world. So there's a sneaky trick to get around that and basically act as if you are in New Zealand. And therefore by doing that, you'll be able to play the game early. Now, a lot of people are going to be doing this. You'll see in a lot of comments, and a lot of videos, people will be making hints and jokes about taking a trip to New Zealand as a flight or moving there. That's basically what they mean, is changing their location to New Zealand. So I'll talk about how to do that. Make sure you listen to this, because if you don't do it right, it won't work and you don't want to be missing out. But before we do that, I'm going to quickly talk about the pre-launch. So let's quickly talk about preload times, and then we'll talk about how to actually get the game early. So if you want to download the game before it comes out, so you're not having to spend ages downloading it when the game is already launched and wasting a lot of time, especially if your internet's slow, then there's a really easy method to do that. So you can preload the game if you have pre-ordered it. So obviously pre-order the game, and then what will happen is on Monday the 10th of November at 9 AM Pacific time, which is about sort of 5 PM UK time, preload will become available for all platforms. So every platform can preload their game and download it in advance. You won't be able to play it yet, but you'll be able to preload it. By the time you're watching this video, it probably will be that time already, and therefore you'll be able to preload it likely once this video is out. So in order to do so, you either open up the Call of Duty HQ app and it will give you an option to preload it within the game itself on Black Ops 7, or go to the store, find Black Ops 7, and it will give you an option to preload it if you've pre-ordered. So do that to download it in advance, so you don't have to waste loads of time downloading it. Now, what about if you actually want to play the game after you've preloaded it and downloaded it? How do you actually play it early? So like I say, it depends on your platform, so you want to listen up carefully to this bit, because it will vary depending on what console you use, whether it's PlayStation, Xbox or PC. I'll leave chapters on this video and timestamps in the description so you can jump to a specific part for your specific platform, and then I'll talk about some other useful tips and information at the end of the video as well. We'll start off with PlayStation, because it's probably one of the easiest methods, and then we'll talk about the same for Xbox and PC. So for all consoles, the first bit is the same, including PlayStation. So what you want to do is you want to go onto the internet and go onto your Call of Duty /Activision account. Now that account will be linked with a specific platform depending on whether you play on PlayStation or Xbox. Go onto the Call of Duty webpage or Activision account, just type that in, log into your Activision account, and then once you're there, you want to go to basic info, then to address, and you want to change your address to a New Zealand address. Do this on the Call of Duty Activision account, not on your console. Now, you may be thinking, well, I don't have a New Zealand address if you don't live there, and that's absolutely fine, because what you can do is you can just type into Google New Zealand random address generator. It will come up with a random address, and you can just put that in as your address in New Zealand. If you do that and save it, Activision/Call of Duty will now think that you live in New Zealand, and therefore it will assume you're going to be able to get the game earlier. So basically when it becomes the 14th of November in New Zealand at midnight, whereas actually if you live somewhere else, you'll be able to play it sooner than you otherwise would. So that's the first thing you want to do. If you don't want to do that, you can just go onto Google Maps, find a random business or address somewhere in New Zealand and just put that address in. Once you've done that and saved those details, you can then boot up your console, launch the Call of Duty HQ app with Black Ops 7 preloaded on it, and you should now have access to the full game early. So that's how to do it on PlayStation. What time can you expect to get it? Well, the time you'll be able to play the game will vary depending on your region. I'll give you a few examples. So instead of being able to play it on Friday the 14th, you'll be able to play it earlier on Thursday the 13th of November. If you are in the US, Pacific time, it's 3 AM on the 13th of November, which is 6 AM Eastern time. And in the UK, for me, that's my time zone, it will be 11 AM Greenwich Mean Time on the 13th of November. So pretty much it's like half a day early, basically. If you live elsewhere, you just need to convert it to one of those time zones, but yeah, 11 AM UK time, 3 AM Pacific time, and 6 AM Eastern time on the 13th of November is when you'll be able to play the game, because that's equivalent to when it launches properly in New Zealand. So that's the launch times. What about if you want to do it on Xbox? If you want to get the game early, how do you do that? Well, same method as before to start off with. So go onto the internet, log into your Call of Duty Activision account. You want to go to basic info, change your address to a New Zealand address as we said. Once you do that, you want to save those settings, and then you want to boot up your console, go to console settings, general, then language and location, and then what you want to do is you need to change the location to New Zealand. So I believe for Xbox you have to change it both on your Activision account and on your Xbox account. Likewise, if you find it's not working for PlayStation, then obviously change the location on your PlayStation as well, but you shouldn't need to do that. And then finally for PC, can you play the game early? Well, yes you can technically, but only if you own the game through Microsoft or the Xbox Game Pass. If you buy it that way, if you buy it with the Game Pass, you'll be able to play it early on your PC. If you haven't bought it through Xbox or the Game Pass and you've bought it through like Steam or Battle.net, unfortunately you'll have to wait until the full game launches to be actually able to play the game, which is a bit frustrating. And for PC, the launch time is the same around the world. If you've only got it on Steam or Battle.net, it will launch on November 14th. The time will vary depending on where you live. So for example, in the UK where I live, it will be 5 AM Greenwich Mean Time in the morning. Sort of New York time is midnight Eastern time, and LA Pacific time is 9 PM on the 13th of November. So it will all launch at the same time, just depending on where you live in the world. However, there might be another trick you can do if you have it on Steam or Battle.net, and that is getting someone to invite you to a lobby in Black Ops 7 who's already playing the game. That worked last year with Black Ops 6, so hopefully it should work again. We won't know for sure, but let me guys know if you have any issues with that. But if you're on PC and you have it on Steam or Battle.net, get someone who's already playing the game to invite you to their lobby, and then you should be able to play the game early rather than waiting till November 14th. Now, if all else fails with any of the methods above, just make sure you change your region both on your platform and on the Activision account. If it's not working, just doing it on the Activision account, and otherwise just try and get someone to invite you to a game and it should work. I don't know whether you'd have to stay in their lobby or whether you can then just sort of back out, stay in the main menu and then do whatever you want, or whether you have to only stay with the host. I'm not sure, but that is a way to get around it. Like I say, preload is now live. So last thing I just wanted to mention was about the zombie side of things. So obviously campaign multiplayer and zombies will come out at that time, and you can play it early depending on if you use that method or not I mentioned. But if you want to play zombies and actually play the main Easter egg quest, that will actually be delayed by a little bit. And that's because Treyarch wants to make sure that everyone sort of is on an equal playing field with it, and that people aren't getting the game early and sort of starting the Easter egg quest before other people have even started the game. So the main Ashes of the Dam Easter egg quest will launch at 10 AM Pacific time, which is equivalent to 1 PM Eastern time, and that's 6 PM in the UK, Greenwich Mean Time, on Friday the 14th of November. So you have to wait until Friday to actually play the Easter egg quest. So you're basically waiting a day to a day and a half for the main Easter egg quest to actually come out and go live before you can play it. Then after that, once people have played zombies and actually completed their main Easter egg quest, once someone in the world does it and it's verified, we'll then be able to unlock curse mode to play as well. So that is how to play Black Ops 7 early, depending on where you live and depending on your platform. Hope you guys found this useful. If you did, be sure to drop a like on the video, and feel free to check out all my other Black Ops 7 guides. I've got tons coming at launch, camo guides, XP and weapon XP guides. I'll have other guides later on when Season 1 comes out. Any good glitches, anything like that, anything useful for Black Ops 7, you'll find it on my channel, so you will want to make sure you're subscribed to stay up to date with that. But thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys all on my next video.